Hello. So thank you very much for your interest in this subject. And of course, this is a very interesting subject for all of us. And I want you to uh, I want you to take it in a way which is most important for uh, even the even the one who is uh, just touching a research methodology or SPSS for the first time. So what happens with the community of researchers that some of us are very expert, some of us are very pro into doing this, and some of us are having a lot of interest in it, lot of desire to pursue a career or maybe just a knowledge of having a very perfection into doing the research. So, but we do not know how to do it, or maybe we do not have a right kind of guidance of doing it. And because of these things, situations, we either do not start a research, or even if we start with a very loose interest or a very uh, flexible attitude. And this is exactly where we as a organization want to play a role, that if you have an interest of finding something scientifically in a very systematic way, then you must know the art of probing knowledge. This particular subject is not limited to somebody who is into business or management or into data or mathematics or something like that, but anybody who belongs to, for example, pharmacy, medical, engineering, chemical, or any stream of uh, educational domain as such. And it is important for us to understand that how statistics give us some crucial answers very scientifically, and why it is important for us to investigate anything in such a uh, systematic manner. So, once we touch this particular subject in this detail, we realize that the way we've been looking upon any particular problem was way different than the way we should look at the problem. I mean, when the orientation of looking at the problem is to solve it, it is very important for us to learn the method which is accepted, which is importantly cohesive and scientific, which will help us, each one of us, to agree upon the knowledge that we have created. So the ultimate purpose of a research methodology is to investigate any problem with an attitude of science, the temperament of science. I will take you through 4 days, 2 hours each, as per the Indian Standard Time, 5 o'clock evening to 7 o'clock. I'll be answering your questions, um, listening to you, trying to understand what kind of problem you are facing in your research, and then accommodate into subsequent lectures. But this lecture have a very clear-cut plan of what are we going to talk in coming 4 days. That doesn't mean we are not going to include your answers. Of course, we do that because that is the ultimate purpose. But in the process that we are going to touch, it is what it is that I'm going to show you in the next slide. So before we start, I want to set the expectations of we as an organization from you, dear participants, and also what should be your expectations from us. So first is that I already said that key research methodology, or research for that matter, it is a community in which that each and every person have a different status of knowledge. Like some of us are really very pro. I mean, my professors and their professors uh, have probed this particular subject in such a detail that I mean, we will literally need at least a decade of persistent experience to have the same level of knowledge and expertise in the subject. And some of us are just knowing it, or maybe just really excited about it. So that is how. But that doesn't mean that none of us can engage with this subject until unless we do not achieve a certain level of expertise. We all can do it. I mean, we can. We always have a level from where we all can begin with, and we're going to talk about that particular level uh, today, and then we will start building upon it from tomorrow onwards, right? So that is some things I want you all to respect, each one of us, irrespective of the fact that where we stand in terms of the status of our knowledge about research methodology or any tool. We are going to talk about SPSS today, but then there are a lot of other uh, softwares available for us to have to do data analysis in terms of using of research methodology. Next is everyone will appear in a quiz at the end of the session, and we are going to give you a link in the comment section, maybe into at the last of the session. And in the link, you have to appear into a quiz. You will have to qualify that link. Why I'm saying that you have to qualify, and that link that quiz is not rocket science or is very complex. We have not built it that way. The objective of this quiz is that you are seriously engaging with us. So when we offer something free, of course, the intention of all free programs in YouTube or any social media is the ultimate objective is to promote their brand and sell their product. We are not different. But when I say about education, our intention is to achieve and take proper sincerity of everybody who is engaging with us. This quiz will make you assertive and sincerely engage with us. That is the purpose. So if you're sincerely with us, you will be able to answer all of those questions. None of those questions are sort of rocket science. But if you are here just because your university has given you some sort of push to participate, or maybe some of your professor have asked you to do this program, then it is a problem. I mean, do not force yourself into something in a subject which will never be of use if you are enforcing yourself. It will never be it. So why I'm saying it, because a scientific investigation is is boring if you have not devoted your 100% attention to it. It's absolutely no fun. At the moment you engage with it, as if you're engaging with a toddler to play, or maybe a movie to watch, or any sort of entertainment, if you give the same level of engagement with this becomes absolute fun, and this gives you a kind of enrichment in terms of knowledge and awakening no other subject can give. So the purpose of this quiz is to have your undivided attention with us. That is the only thing. And because of this, I'm saying that if you're not qualifying in that quiz, you are not going to get the link of the next session. I mean, when we have been sending you the invite, we have this opportunity to give you all the day 4 links head away, and then anybody can just walk in and you just keep on sharing to whoever, and they just walk in and they do. So we are not interested into something uh, which is just a cakewalk for anybody, either to make it or to ruin it, because then you know what happens, that we get more spammers rather than serious investigators or the researchers. So we don't want crowd um, who just come here for the sake of coming here. So yep. So if you will qualify that quiz, you will be getting the link for the next session. So make sure that you engage in that quiz. Right. So due to large amount of participations, we are only taking. So naturally, this YouTube is a platform you cannot engage bilaterally. Uh, we will be doing one-to-one sessions or very small cohort of expert sessions based upon what kind of subject you are engaged into, what level of expertise you have, and what exactly is your expectations out of that programs. We will be letting you know afterwards once we finish the session. So in that, we will be having a complete Zoom link wherein each of us can engage the way any uh, any collaboration, physical, digital collaborations helps us to do it. So thank you very much for the people who are here with me. Dr. Saeed Hussain, uh, saying welcome. Dr. Imran Khan, welcome. Dr. Jyoti Khare, Gulab Prem Kumar ji, Eben Matthew, Tanveer ji, all of you. You all are very welcome. Thank you very much. I'm reading your comments, so you can answer whenever you can ask question whenever you want to. And yeah, so hi guys. The necessity to have this latest SPSS, uh, guys. Okay. Anyway, so you can reframe the question in case I'm not able to understand it. I will let you know. You can always reframe the questions. And then let's not engage into any personal lamenting or in-person comments into the thread. That actually takes everybody's attention, because we actually get attention to negatives more than the things that we do positive. So yep, so please give your comment, give your question into the comment if you want to. Day one, today we are going to talk about introduction, about research methodology, the methods and methodology, what is the difference. We're going to talk about it, the type of researches that we do, what are the processes, and what are the criteria through which we can say, okay, this is the good research that we have done. It will set the stage for us to talk about what we are going to talk about tomorrow. So most of you are having very fair idea about the basics of what is research methodology. And even if you are expert, I would request you to engage today, because it will help you understand in a very nutshell, in a very easy, because what happens that even if I'm a professor of research methodology or professor of whatever subject, I still feel difficult when it comes to talk about it with my fellow researchers or students. So we have engaged some easier ways to understand this complex subject. So that is why I want you to engage, even if you are knowing these particular subjects, right? It will help you to dwell upon with your own set of students wherever you are teaching. Day two, we are going to talk about research design, survey and sampling, and tests and tools. So here we are going to talk, we will introduce one tool which is called SPSS. Other tools, there are a lot of tools. There are a lot of very easy tools have come up, but SPSS so far has been very widely used, especially into Asian part of the researchers fraternity. So we will be doing it in our subsequent sessions. We are also going to give you lessons about Python, MOS, and R project. So that is different. So and tomorrow we are going to include this particular software tool through which we are going to apply all the knowledge that we are gaining about research methodology. Day three will be letting you understand how we are migrating data from one software to SPSS, how to clean the data, how to code it, and how to export it into SPSS, and how to validate this data. Very important for us that anything we collect from the from the population is not going to answer the kind of questions we are set to ask in a particular research. It is always going to be different, right? So that's why I'm saying that we all have to be very vigilant about. We have to be very sure about what kind of data have we collected, and we have to test the validity of data. So validity has a different. We'll come in detail when we talk about it. So and therefore we are going to talk about the use cases. So we will be having live database and applying it and testing it live, and understanding that how SPSS helps bringing out the results, how we can export that result. Dr. Pratibha, welcome. Uh, uh, do we talk about sample? Mehak, we are going to talk about sample calculation, but not today. Today we are going to set the stage, right? So thank you for your question. Um, Amit, welcome. So yeah, so on day four we are going to do a lot of sample, and I'm going to share with you a lot of samples that is important for uh, us to know, right? So there are some tests we have. We will help you to learn and export them into the other softwares like MS Word or MS Excel or pages or numbers, depending upon what kind of machine you use. So how we're going to do that? How can we actually incorporate it into the report that we are or the manuscript that you are going to finally submit in whenever stage, right? So that is my expectations. Day one, we're going to talk about introduction of research methodology. What is the meaning, right? What is the objective? Why we should be motivated doing it? What are the type of research methods and methodologies? What is significance? We're going to talk about this. What is the difference between method and methodology? What are the basic know-how, processes of research, and the good practice of research methodology. This is what we're going to do today. And end of the sessions, you'll be able to know these things. So Priya, welcome, and yeah. So thank you, Omar, for the comment. You can raise question if you want, right? I'm very much interested upon you asking question because that gives me a kind of uh, insight that I'm engaging right with you all people. That's why I'm inviting more of question. Thank you, Manish. Thank you. Yep. So, a small introduction. Who are we? So, my name is Jitin Rajaram, and our organization name is Persec Research. In one word, if I'm introducing who are we, then I will call ourselves as a catalyst. Why catalyst? It's a very important word and very finely picked word for us to define because if I will interfere in your research, then it will no longer be yours, right? It will be adulterated, it will become um, not your property, right? And if I will not help you, then you are not going to finish it, right? So and this is my I'm going to show you in next slide. I'm going to show you that what happens who register for the PhD and how many of you finish it. And this ratio is particularly about PhD. This ratio is very um, bad. I mean, it is even bad than the people who start their schooling and the percentage of people who finish their schooling. So this is really horrible. And most of those students of PhDs who drop their PhDs are the ones who are exceptionally intelligent and very inquisitive, very uh, passionate about achieving what they want to achieve through that research, but they give up. So, what are the reasons? We're going to talk about it later. But why we are the catalyst? So, catalysis is a process in which we as a molecule do not participate into the input or the output, but we speed up the processes of making the finishing molecule. That's why we call ourselves catalyst. Next is we are ideator, and I'm very uh, authoritatively claiming this for me being an ideator because um, most of us are student of research, and very less of us are professor of research, and even less amount of us are actually producer out of research. I mean, those who are called scientists or the corporate research or something like that, a very less amount. So this is the ratio. And in the process of we being students, a lot of people expect us to be absolutely pro about the ideas. So and that's why I'm saying that we are ideator because we so everybody has an idea. We help your idea to condense into a set of objectives and problems and hypotheses with which you will be engaging as a researcher and bringing out the results successfully, scientifically, with the right kind of temperament. So, putting your wild ideas into a shape which can undergo the process of a scientific research is what we help you, and that's why we call ourselves ideator. Then we also call ourselves about the concept developers because you will agree with us that when you are starting to investigate an idea have lot of spokes, 360-degree spokes. There are wild ways to engage with that idea, and the more you try to figure out about that idea, the more ideas you get in, and the whole mess you create out of it. Until unless you do not develop a concept, you do not go other side of the bridge, and that's why you need to develop a concept. So we help you in concept development, and most importantly, the turf that we have is data analysis, right? So we also help you into data analysis. So right, friends, so yep, that's our aim. You can see two pie charts here. One is uh, the present situation, and one is the situation that we want to bring as a catalysis. We want to actually inverse the pie, right? So if there are 100 students logging into PhD, only 22 of them finish their PhD. We want to inverse it. So as I said, that a lot of people who drop their PhD are the ones who are exceptionally intelligent, because it's not the question of intelligence which is stopping you, or maybe it's not a question of being less intelligent which is stopping you from finishing your PhD. You are doing this particular degree in the age group which have a lot of responsibilities into their shoulders. So when you've been a school student, your 100% professional identity was to be a student. When you've been doing your master program or graduation, you may have some other social responsibilities, but still majority of your responsibility includes that you finish your education. But when you're doing your PhD, you're already into a job, which means that you have a financial responsibility of the household you're looking after. And then you have aging parents, you have kids home, you have extended families, you have in-laws, and you have all sort of things. So you have a profession which needs 8 to 10 hours every day. You have a family which needs at least 5 to 6 hours every day. And then you have your own body which needs care, undeniable care. And that's how you are overburdened. And because you're overburdened, the last thing you pay attention to is research, because research do not have immediate reward. And when I say immediate reward, it is not giving you any financial. In fact, it is going to take a lot of your financial money, hard-earned money into it, and maybe if at all you finish, you are going to get the benefit. Of course, you're going to get benefit out of it, but the first question is, are you going to finish it on time? So, and I always say to everyone who engages with the uncharted. So research is an uncharted path. So for example, there are a lot of people are doing their job in corporate, or maybe having their own entrepreneurial aspirations, or having the parents' business to take care of. So these people are basically into a 4-lane highway. They're with a very cruising vehicle. But the people who are into research are into it's like you are creating the path by walking. I mean, that's a Spanish proverb. Like, there is no path as such. You're creating it just by walking on a barren land. So, and because it's a new path, you are not able to see the perks at the horizon, and then you start deviating, and this deviations ends up you losing your whole interest and attention towards something very important you've been doing all your life. So that's how we end up. So we as a catalyst, Persec Research, want to help you in engaging with your own research programs with an energy, determination, and conviction and motivation, so that you finish it up. So that's our purpose, right? So thank you, Dr. Ankit Patel, for agreeing. I so much empathize with this thought, because I myself being a student. Right, guys. So thank you. Let's begin. So what is a research methodology? Um, Simplest way, it is the search of knowledge. All of us search knowledge. When a 6-year-old toddler, newborn, for the first time smiles off, because you are trying to seek the attention of that toddler, and when he or she smiles at your face by looking at you, that 6-month-old toddler is actually getting attention, is actually getting the knowledge, information, receiving it, and trying to understand that there is somebody who's trying to take my attention. That is research. Methodology helps you into the systematic investigation of it. So far, most of us have been engaging with research in a very casual approach, right? So, and when I say that most of us, I include the people who are professionally involved into scientific investigation. Why I'm saying it? Because we always try to uh, copy somebody's method. We always try to simply uh, take out the method from somebody's research who we think is exactly like us or more or less like us. So we just try to transform that particular method into our research without putting a complete thought into it that maybe this is not the right way to engage with my idea, my problem, my research objectives, or maybe it is not going to be sufficient, or maybe there is something new to it we should do. So we as a researcher, our duty is manufacturing the knowledge, not trading the knowledge or transporting the knowledge. That's the difference we are not understanding. Most of the teacher, most of the researcher are taking the knowledge and passing it. So, and that's not what the purpose is. The purpose is to manufacture knowledge, especially in the age and the era we born, the 21st century, when the world is exactly changing with unimaginably fast pace. Our job is to catch every nuances of the changes this world is making and implement it, right? So please try and understand. Our job as a researcher is extremely critical in 21st century, because every minute we are adding knowledge in a capacity which is beyond human limitation to grasp. And that's why I'm asking you to understand why it is extremely important for us to have a scientific systematic method of investigating any information and converting into a usable knowledge, and how we are going to do it. It begins with a seed called instinct, right? If you do not have advent of curiosity, then probably you are very mechanical or in the way you are engaging with your research objectives. And if you're doing that, entire journey of you being a researcher will always remain complex and a sort of burden to you. But the moment you start um, you, engaging with it with curiosity, with the instinct, the beauty, the magic of this particular project will become dawning on you like a fire, right? So that's why I'm asking you to say that instinct is very important. That the center of your ball should be the instinct, the advent of curiosity when you're engaging with knowledge. The moment you have, so what you will do out of that instinct and curiosity? So I want to tell you this: let it brood inside you. Very beautifully, I want to tell you, let that curiosity brood, let it boil, let it condense and boil again inside you. Give it a sufficient time, because you know what, human brain is full of ideas. Every second you just see a TV, come up with an idea. You wake up early in the morning, you come up with idea. You're traveling somewhere, you come up with newer ideas. We always get bombarded with the ideas, but out of those thousands of ideas, when you decide about one idea, to devote your time, investigate, engage with your resources, spend money on it, and build something on your own risk, because until unless it is not built, nobody is going to care about what you are building. So for that, time flying, it will be a sense of solace. It will be a lonely way forward for you, in which you are only putting your money, efforts, time, and energy. A lot of people will not trust you when you say that you're going to deliver something really cool in the future. So like you're going to stake a lot of things into it. So before staking all your resources into one particular idea, let all those ideas beautifully brood into it. So Omar, we're going to mail you all these things. So we have a Telegram link at the end of this session. We're going to give you the Telegram link, and if you will join that Telegram link, this presentation, the quizzes, the handouts, and individual attentions to your questions will all come there, right? So thank you very much for asking this question, right? Yeah. So now once you have got the conviction that okay, this is the idea I want to further investigate and heed on and give time and my resources, then you have to be inquisitive about it, right? So then you have to get so you have to find out where should I begin it from, out of 100 doors that you have, which door are you going to knock first, which door is about to open first, and which door you will decide to enter, right? So there are going to, so even if so in instinct will give you 100 doors around you, and inquisitive will actually finally drill you to knock few of those doors. I'm sure you're not going to knock all 100 of the doors, and that's not practical, that's not viable, and not advisable as well. So you're going to pick some 10 odd doors to knock, and not all of them will all the doors will open. So and then there will be a lot of other doors will open. So which one of those doors you will be deciding to enter to is called being inquisitive, right? So how much you're going to engage with it, how much energy you're going to put, how much resources you're planning to infuse in it, all these things will come, and it will create another beautiful layer to which will hold your idea, your curiosity beautifully inside it. Next becomes the idea that you start investigation, right? Jai Shankar, good evening, Dr. Beam Singh. Jai Shankar Mishra ji, you're asking that when should one collaborate in research? Thank you very much, Jai, for this question. So, as I'm saying that you first, all the bombardment of ideas you should welcome. Anything that is coming your way, you welcome it, right? You register it. Automatically, from inside you, the answer will come that okay, these are the things I'm not interested. These are the things I'm interested upon. And the moment you will start getting direction, okay, these are the things I'm interested, right? So there are three methods of engaging with an idea: important, urgent, and interested, right? So first thing, naturally you will be able to answer very easily what is interesting and what is not interesting. So of course, because it is an uncharted path, do not copy somebody's interest. Okay, it is your interest, so it is my interest. Don't do that. Take your interest, right? First is, and then you understand that is it important to investigate? Will it give uh, some value to the society or the country or the community or the future or the youngsters? Will it add value to the life of the mankind and to the biosphere or to the solar system or to the universe? And third is it urgent, right? Can this wait? Can this hold on? Can I do it later? And if the answer is yes, then pick the another one. And for as long as anything is not answering three things to you, that it is interested for you, it is interesting for you, it is important, and it is urgent, do not start investing in it, right? So that you answer yourself, and you'll be able to do it. So Mr. Dayashankar, I hope I have helped you in your question. If not, you can reframe the question again. Right, Amit, thank you very much. Is the mother of invention, curiosity, of course. Um, and then once you have got this shape, this season that, okay, this is what we're going to take it further, then you're going to do investigation. And investigation, my dear friend, is is the is the experience. How we experience by the five senses. Either we touch it, or we smell it, or we taste it, or we see it, or we hear it, right? So when we are going to receive through our senses is called investigation. So I said it very easily because we kind of experience through our senses a lot many things, and most of the things that we sense in our day is just an entropy, is just a garbage, it's just spam that we experience. Out of those spam and the garbage and entropy, you have to distill out what exactly is your question you want to investigate further. So once you will start engaging with that particular question, you will realize that this particular subject is really uh, uh, worth taking ahead. So investigate. The more you will investigate, the more shape it will take, the more value you will be able to draw out of it, the more conclusive you will be able to develop it, and then it will become something you will be very confident and happy about going further. Because the biggest thing that you can invest upon any idea is time. Everything else is returnable, everything else will come back, but time will never come back. So very important for you to pick up the right thing. And last thing is that the wisdom, the conscience. uh, so Amit, this particular course will give you sufficient idea of you engaging with SPSS. The third and the fourth day is devoted about SPSS, and for other thing, so for the full length, we have a Telegram link. Join that Telegram link. We will be making small cohort because naturally a big size of students cannot engage with something which have a multiple inflows. So we're making small cohort, and then we're going to do the full length SPSS and full length research methodology. I have already set the course that what are the things that we're covering. Of course, we're covering 2 days. We're covering university SPSS, and it is kind of the sensorily only the test, because it has lot of tests. So it is SPSS basically an endless software for anyone to learn. But the kind of tests that we have, tools that we have taken into the syllabus will give you a sufficient idea of how to engage with the SPSS course. Yep. So yeah, of course, Sanjay, it have a lots of failures, but then you know what? In fact, life is full of failures. Like who, even if the people who are the most successful ones are the ones who will give you the better answers, that more than the times world have seen them successful, around 100 times of what they have seen themselves as a failure. So you fail 1,000 times, then you succeed for 5 times, or maybe one time, or maybe somewhere like this. So more than the world see you as a successful, first you have to develop the ability to see yourself as a failure. So do not, I mean, and you know what? The only way you will engage with a situation again and again is your curiosity. Otherwise, you will stop engaging with it. So I mean that curiosity should be the genesis of why you should engaging to find out in your knowledge in a very scientific way. So the ultimate is that you develop an intelligence of making that research concrete. So right, making that whole investigation, the whole research meaningful and useful to the community or the society you're working with, right? So you being a Neil Armstrong have not developed the shape, have not calculated the gravity of moon, have not calculated the escape velocity. You have not done these things. You have simply put the feet on the moon. There is 99.9999% of the work of you setting up feet on the moon was done by somebody else. But it was your drive of curiosity, of inquisitiveness, of investigation and intelligence who has given you conviction, resources, desire, and courage to leave your biosphere and go there and put your feet down. Right? So Gyan Sankar has answered beautifully. Failure is also a research. Yeah, seriously. So of course it is a research, because like like anybody here from pharmaceutical industry will agree with me that your lab tests some 2 to 3 lakh molecule, 200 or 300,000 molecules, and then you're able to develop one molecule which will perhaps clear the 5 stages of clinical trial and become the drug ultimately. I mean, that is the journey. Out of 200,000 molecules, one molecules, if you're lucky enough, becomes medicine for the normal people to consume. So that's a ratio. So what happens to rest of the molecules? Failed. But have they failed entirely? No, they have given you a precursor. They've been the precursor of your subsequent knowledge, right? So Pankaj, you need to reframe your question. I'm not able to understand. So Pankaj Yadavji, please uh, make this question a little more comprehensible to me. Yeah. So how to select the best topic, the research professor Anand Kumar Brahmabhat. Thank you very much for this question. And this is one question I seriously want to answer you, but I want to track this PPT towards the end, and then I'm going to answer it. So if anybody who is interested to have this answer, has to stay a little longer with me. Thank you very much for this question. Right, boss? So search of knowledge with an instinct, inquisitiveness, investigation, intelligence, so that you can develop a systematic method of investigation is called research methodology. So I, as a teacher, will take you through this journey. I'll ask you to repeat again because I want you to let this seep in your brain and keep it brooding inside you. Let it cook inside you, so that once you engage in your idea, in your research, all these thoughts and experiences and knowledge uh, push you towards finishing that particular research with the kind of result you wanted it to deliver, right, friends? So that's why you have to be patient uh, when you're engaging with us, right? So thank you very much. So what is it, wait, friends? So yes, so there is something I'm not able to hold it. I will do something like this. Okay, so original addition of new knowledge happens through investigation, which starts with quest and observation, right? Towards solving a problem. I don't think that you're able to see that little gray text that I've written over here. And uh, by the accepted method. So it has to be a statistically accepted method. You are going to um, find out the rules and norms of doing research, and this entire package is called research methodology, right? So why I talk about the accepted method all the time, there is a slide in which I'm going to talk about particularly again. Pooja is asking, what topic are you in love, your subject area, to choose it. So Pooja, your question and Professor Brahmbhatt's question is more or less same, and I will hold on answering it in a later discussion, right? So thank you very much for this question. Yep. So we've got the idea of how we take a curiosity to a well-developed and well-formed a research project. We want you to understand that there are ways. When I say methodology, it depends upon the kind of question you're investigating, the kind of answers you are looking for, right? I did not anticipate this auto setting of the PPT. So please excuse me. I think it will happen automatically. Okay, so it has naturally. So there are four objectives of doing your research, right? So naturally, so when you start with an idea and when you're converting it to a research paper, there are ways, there are methods, there are branches, and depending upon the the attributes of the question you're investigating, the nature of investigation you're engaging with, and the kind of result you are expecting from it, you want to draw, it all of it are going to go through a different funnel of doing the research, right? So one method is called exploratory or formulative method. So what is it? right? So exploratory, as the term says, that you're going to explore something, right? So something is happening around you, right? And you just want to understand that phenomena broadly. So we have this in unimaginable threat to the mankind, kind of never happened something to the mankind is ongoing, which is called pandemic. I think no conversation of human ever completes until and unless we don't quote this particular ongoing pandemics we are going through, right? I think every minute in our conscience this particular word keeps on repeating in the brain. It is so much frightening, it is so much devastating, and we see that almost each one of us are having an experience of losing someone around us. So we just cannot escape it. So I want you to understand it. So if you're observing its pattern, its method, its devastations it is causing, then you are adopting a research methodology which is called exploratory or formulative, right? So you're trying to know a phenomena which is happening around you. You are trying to investigate that, okay, how monsoons impact seasons, and how seasons impact temperatures, and how temperature impacts the health of the people you're living around, right? So this is your exploratory and formulative research that you are engaging with. Another method is called descriptive, right? So the here you are further fine right, further going precise. You develop more precision, more fine method of investigating. So you drill down a little deeper and figure out more accurate answers, or the or the most accurate portray of the characteristics of the situations, right? So that method is called descriptive methods, right? So another method is called hypothesis testing, in which you kind of develop a logical, mathematically logical relationship between two variables. The variables can be social parameters, can be medical parameters, can be um, economic or managerial parameters or business parameters, can be anything. So the moment you try to weigh those two parameters in a mathematical, in an arithmetic relationship, then you are doing hypothetical testing, right? So that is one. And the fourth one is doing the diagnosis, right? So diagnosis is occurrence or the frequency or the pattern observation, right? So that you can prepare for it when it is coming next time, so that you can for example, if you're investigating about tsunami, or if you're investigating about earthquake or famine, right? So or strong, so then you're actually trying to observe the pattern, the the monsoon pattern, or the pattern of the air pressure on Earth or the biosphere, and then you're trying to predict that what is about to happen, how you can um, save things and aware situations and get a more learned response to the kind of situation we are about to face. So then you're doing a diagnostic research, right? Right, friends. So there are four dimensions of doing the research, and each of these dimensions will ask you to engage differently. The methods, the methodology will be different, because the outcome is different, the input is different, and also the funnel through which this input and output will travel is different. So you have to categorically decide. How to decide which one is what is a very subjective matter, and it will come out of your experience. It will, I mean, nobody can straight away give you an answer that, okay, this is your idea, then probably it will fit in this particular area. No, I mean it is not dependent upon idea, that which idea will fit in which one of the circle in this screen. It is not that way, right? So it will um, it is not only the idea, it is the way you want to hang on with this idea, engage with this idea, and it is the result that you are willing to obtain from it, and the community you want to benefit from it, and the your intention, desire, and purpose of engaging with it. So all variables put together will help you understand and decide to pick any one method or the collective methods or sub projects and multiple projects into different having different objective and research methodology uses, right? So it all depends that way, right, friends? So motivation of research, and I want you to answer Professor Bhatt here, Brahma Bhatt here, and Pooja ji here, uh, how to select the best topic, right? So the first thing, so there are two ways of engaging with it: the inward methods and the outward method. Uh, Inward method is that uh, am I going to be the last beneficiary of the investigation I'm about to engage with, or I'm going to be the first beneficiary of the of the method I'm going to engage with? So, for example, if you are a Thomas Alva Edison and you want to invent a bulb, I mean, nobody wants to invent a bulb. You invent something and then you decide about the use case of it. So in the process of you inventing a bulb, uh, is the purpose of you doing it is to benefit yourself first. Maybe you're going to take the patent out of it, or maybe a promotion in your job, or maybe a recognition in the society. What is that you want it, or is that you want you are the person like Munshi Premchand, or like Nikola Tesla, or somebody who thinks that let the world get benefit out of it. It doesn't matter. People will remember me, or will they reward me, or will they not reward me? So these are the two ends. So where you are standing in this end, maybe you are in somewhere in the middle. Maybe you want more of a personal recognition and less of the world benefit. Maybe you 100% want world benefit. You don't want recognition at all. So it all depends upon how you thank you, Pooja. So how you um, engage with it? What is your ultimate purpose of you engaging it, right? Uh, thank you, Blue Dragon. It's a nice name. I love, so like I love some names. There is a company by Amazon called Blue Origin. Is a space exploratory company, competitor to Tesla, SpaceX, and I love this name. Why? Because I mean, in the universe, we are the only blue planet, and we originated from the blue planet. And somewhere in the future, when we are able to travel the galaxies, and we'll say that we are originated from the blue uh, uh, planet, will be really, really nice thing, right? It kind of gives a sense of ownership to the global citizenship. So your name, Blue Dragon, is really nice name. Sorry for cutting off away from the ultimate purpose we are engaging, but I mean, we can always take the liberty of talking light about things. So thank you, Pooja. Thank you for your words. Let me engage back to the motivation of research. So yeah, so what is your purpose? Is the purpose is to give to the mankind, or the purpose is to get the ultimate benefits to you? And both are right way. There is charity is good, but it should begin from you first. If you're not standing, it doesn't matter. What you're doing will be lost. Why? Because if you're not able to stand in the storm, then the amount of the people you can save from the storms will always be less. So it is very important for us to make our own standing first, and then start helping. So either way is a right way. So what is the logic behind the code AABCD? Okay. So AABCD. So no, it's simply the bubble I wanted to create. I wanted to make a code, but here it is not making sense. That's a mistake I've done, Mohammed. Motion immediately, and thank you for you bringing attention. And so maybe some of you are guessing around it is a hierarchy or the priority or something like that. No, it is simple mistake. I wanted to prioritize and rank it, but I did not do it. So, and I'm sorry to create any confusion here. Mushin, thank you very much for giving attention to this particular thing. So everybody, please record it that it is not anything related to the hierarchy or ranking the priority. It is simply there the bubbles helping me to create the design and share mistake. So if at all we're going to talk about the genesis of how the order is, that are you doing it for the intellectual joy? I think it is a nice way of looking at things. Intellectual joy is a very good value we want to we draw from. Thank you, Professor, uh, for empathy. So intellectual joy is, and why I have kept it at the bottom, because that is where you intellectual joy is when you plug yourself with the alternative current, right? So when you plug with it, so intellectual joy can be your plug, you as a researcher, your plug to the society or to the mankind or to the whole universe. And that's why I put it the genesis. So first is your intellectual joy, you should do it. Next is your desire to solve problems, right? A lot of us see problems and abuse the system, abuse the society, or get angry upon people around us, or we just think that people are not doing their job good. But then some of us think that it's okay if the others are not doing their job good. Let me throw my hat in the ring and do it. Um, yeah, so inferential objectives will be hypothesis testing. Yes, Mehak, right? And no, Jyoti, there is no relationship. So please do not do any guesswork around. There is no relation. I should have painted it all white. Right, so genesis is to intellectual desires, then desire to solve problems, and earning qualification. Naturally, it is the immediate benefit of you being a researcher is that you qualify to become better in the position you are present. Right, earning respect in the society. Yes, there are thousand other ways to earn respect in the society, but this is really a very good way, because research is an uncharted path. I always say that it is not a highway in which you can cruise in with your high cc engine vehicle, right? It is an uncharted path wherein the only option most of the times for you to dwell on your own feet, and you can't even have any wheel or any sort of vehicle to dwell with, right? So it is an uncharted path. So and it is most unromantic and lonely journey, right? So because until unless you do not finish it, nobody recognizes you, and the romanticism of becoming famous comes at the end of the tunnel, right? It is not into the path. So that's why I say that yes, it is a very good way of. So the beautiful part. I mean, it's not all that black and sad. The beautiful part is that when you are in research, least amount of people bother you. You get your freedom of working. You get your solace, your unique workstations wherein nobody is interfering, and not everybody walking into your door, crashing in, and trying to advise you because they know that they cannot advise you. So you get your full hand dirty, and you kind of play with the mud bare hand, and you enjoy with it. So both sides, the how you take it is what is the difference. So yep. So um, earning respect in the society is one thing, and then your desire to serve to the society. So sometimes you just die as a Munshi Premchand, you die as a Nikola Tesla. The world of late recognizes you, and when they recognize you, it is too late for you. But then life is worth living, and I'm very emotional when I remember Munshi Premchand, because like sometimes we just cannot measure the contributions people have given to the mankind, even at the time when they are long gone. So and it's okay. I mean, they're so we there are a lot of brave soldiers get medal in their chest after the war is over, but the fierce war will also count to the soldiers who died there in the war field. So the medal in the chest of a live gallant soldier is also the earning of the soldier who died in the battlefield. So it doesn't matter how many of us will get the credit or the recognition of the things that we are doing, but as long as the mankind is living and we have a contribution to it, we should be very proud of doing it. So So I mean, that is what the ultimate purpose. Why I've used this bulb into this particular slide is to let you understand that the most of the time is that you have you're burning inside, but to the world you're giving a light, right? So, and you have this courage to engage to the live electricity, because this are the what we call about the structure of bulb as I depicted in this figure is what I want to tell you is the life of a researcher. Right, friends. So I hope and I strongly want you to understand that until unless you're not sufficiently motivated, this is not a path for you. And when I say motivation, I'm not saying you are liking research work. It's not a motivation. Everybody likes research work because we see a lot of researchers get a lot of respect in the society, a lot of things in the society. So we all kind of feel that, okay, I want this kind of life, and that's why I'm very interested in research. No, I mean, the research is the path of research is very unromantic. You need to have that courage, that conviction to take this path, right? Because when I say it is an uncharted path, there is not going to be any roadside restaurants and playing stations and music and all sort of things. It's going to be very, very painful way ahead, right? But then, yeah. Yeah, Brahma, sir, I respect Sir Mansi Premchand. He been a kind of human god for most of us. I don't know why I mean, most of you who have not engaged with Hindi literature, maybe you'll not be knowing who he is, and that's okay. I mean, it's not crime not knowing him, but those who know him will be able to understand what I'm talking about. Let's move with the subject. So, um, yes, friends. So, type of research is there are four type of research. It's just basically when we discuss about the ways and types, it's more same, right? So, descriptive. Let me repeat it so that it goes in your brain straight. Uh, uh, Descriptive, to know what is happening, why and how. That's a descriptive list. What is happening, why it is happening, how it is happening. If you are answering these set of questions, you are doing a descriptive research. It's very clear, right? What is first and first, it is a phenomena, it is happening, right? You're not causing it happen. You are not putting it in a lab situation. You are seeing it is happening, and it is not in your control. It is just happening out there. So to know what is happening, why and how is descriptive research, right? Applied research is finding a solution by formulating a theory. So for example, you're saying that, okay, so many people are generating fever, and if I give this set of molecule, it will sweat out the fever and the temperature will reduce and the person will feel easy. Okay, so you have formulated a theory that, okay, if the people are precipitating, then the temperature will go out, and if I put any molecule inside which will precipitate the body, naturally temperature will go out. So that's a formula, that's theory, and you're fitting it as a solution. Then you're doing an applied research. The applied research can be a lab thing, can be an observation thing, can be a discovery thing, right? You can have a plant, a root of a plant, or a fruit or a leaf of a plant as a solution. That is a discovery. You can have a molecule designed into a lab. That is a causation observation, all right? Creation of the lab test. You can have um, uh, um, some kitchen work, some unscientific theory of eating certain foods already available in your kitchen, which reduces the fever. That can be anything, but all of them will come into applied thing, because you have a theory, you are formulating based on some solution based on a theory, and that method of research is called applied research, right, friends? So then we have two kind of things, quantitative and qualitative. A lot of people say that qualitative is not mathematical. No, it is mathematical. Arithmetical relationship are always mathematical, so it will engage. It is the quantitative method is measuring the quantity, rating the quality is qualitative, measuring the quantitative is quantitative. So naturally, when it calls quantitative analysis, the kind of statistical tools used, the mathematical formula used are little complex and little is not generally known to most of us. But when it comes to qualitative methods, there are set methods and tools and mathematical or statistical formulae we can take and go ahead with it. So it is relatively easier. I mean, that's not the right way to say it is relatively easier or not. It is the applicability thing. Which one you think is most applicable to you, and which one is not applicable to you. So the decision of uh, adopting which research type you are choosing should be depending upon the kind of question that you are answering, right? It should not be based upon the um, okay, I want to adopt this research method. No, I mean it is not a reverse way. It is the forward way. You have an idea, and you have an objective in the mind, and you have to take this idea from here to this objective, and you have to select which pathway which funnel it will go through, and that funnel happen to be a descriptive method, can be a applied method, can be a quantitative, can be a qualitative, right? Can be conceptual and empirical. You don't kind of choose it. It is the idea and the objective helps you filter in which one is important for you. Uh, right, friends? So then we have a conceptual and empirical model. So it's very simple that there is a concept, there is an abstract idea, which will have a large influence. So, for example, gravity, in research upon gravity is a conceptual idea that gravity in itself is not uh, product, and it's not actually giving you some value, but how you apply that gravity, the, the information related to gravity is what is important, right? So so this is uh, how it should be moving, right? So, and concept is more of a philosophy. It's more of a theory. So a lot of people say that philosophical research or theoretical research does not yield into a value creation. It is wrong. I mean, if anybody of you are Hindi language speaker here or Bollywood consumer, there is a beautiful song about Manoj Kumar sings that Deta Dashamlo Bhagat to Chand Pe Jana Mushkil Tha. In English, I'm saying that if a zero was not decimal was not invented in India, it was impossible for us to reach the moon, which is right. So if you do not have adequate methods of computation, how will you measure where are you going? So yep. So Newton discovered gravity. That's how NASA succeeded in creating escape velocity thrust into the machine, into the thing, right? So uh, Saransh have a very beautiful question. Applied method. Shagal is saying applied method is a um, uh, applied method is an application based. Yeah, of course, it is an application based and can often. Yeah, it is usually an application based, but there are instances where it do not have to be an application based. And what specifically you saying application is also a set of further question of inquiry. You can comment if you want to. But if the next question is saying, can we utilize the existing theory or instead of developing a theory? So Sharans, I really want to give you a more philosophical answer because I just assume that most of us are able to tolerate the philosophical way of answering it. So, Dr. Vaidullah Channo, thank you very much for coming. Good evening. So, uh, so there are only four profession mankind has, and there is no fifth profession. And I'm very, I can spark controversy when I say this, but that's the truth. You can either teach, you can either administrate, you can always trade or commerce, or you can do a service. So there are four services. There is no five service. And if I will translate in Hindi, it will become a conflict because then I'm talking about Varna system and Vedic philosophy and all sort of things. I don't want to go into that detail. I'm saying there is only four ways. You become a teacher, you become an administrator, you become a trade and commerce, you become a service provider. And none of it is lesser to each other, right? So all four pillars of the societies are important. What you do is the intermixing of it, right? So when you are teaching in a college, you are doing attendance, you're doing marking of the examination, you're doing evaluations, you're doing clerical work. So you're a service provider, you're an administrator, you're a teacher, you're a package of all of it. So what a ratio of what you're doing can help you develop some new identity, or the badge name for you, but ultimately it remains the core job kind of job that you're doing. So I think I have answered it. So there are four methods. You can have mixture of different ratios of these four methods, and then you can evolve many methods, right? So there are five senses. So a lot of people say that we have a sense for heat, we have a sense of thinking, we have sense of um, um, directions, we have sense of radiations. So people say, but all, if you dig deep, that sense of heat, sense of thinking, sense of direction, sense of gyrating, these senses are nothing but the combination of the original five senses that we have. But that doesn't mean that universe have only these five senses. Universe may have millions of senses. But to the mankind, we are only known to these five senses. So, and any mixture of these senses can give you a feeling of new senses, but ultimately it remains the five senses. Digging deeper. So, and I'm not denying that there cannot be new methods. Of course, can be new methods. And with the advent of digital technology, there can be a lot of newer methods, and you can always employ them for as long as your community of researcher accepts your argument and methodology. It is good to go. So ultimate purpose is why we all are engaging with a research methodology is to have a acceptance among the researchers, acceptance among the people having scientific temperament. And let me put it a very good way of quantitative. Rakesh, let me finish it. I will answer it. So let me help you understand this. In the current pandemic situations, every day we receive in WhatsApp some sort of Ayurvedic, homeopathic, allopathic, or new kind of remedies to safeguard ourselves from this crisis we are facing. And every day, our government institutions or any other responsible institutions discourages you to not follow a process or a method which is not acceptable. And you can always question that who are you as an institution to say that what is acceptable or not acceptable, and why government should be the ultimate authority. Why government should be the ultimate authority to say that this is an accepted method and this is not an accepted method, and why WHO, for that matter, should be an ultimate authority to tell you that how to save yourself from this virus and how not to save. And why not anybody who has who is expertise in Ayurveda can be the ultimate authority to say that how to safeguard from this virus or not safeguard it. Right? Mohammed, I will answer. Rakesh and Mohammed, I will answer the question. Let me just put you into a right context. So, I'm engaging with Shagan's questions further because it is very important for us to know that why methodology is so important. So, the point is, if I am X de facto in a subsequent sequence, Bhushan, I will answer. Okay? So, X factor is nothing but empirical. So, so for example, if I am invited to a family in a wedding, and everybody who is invited is welcoming me, but the family who has invited me is not welcoming me, or maybe is insulting me, will it serve me going to that particular wedding, leaving aside my other important work? Will it give me a contentment, the feeling of satisfaction that it was worth going to that particular wedding? The answer is no, I assume, right? So, similarly, if I am trying to find an answer to a question, and my process of finding that answer is not accepted by the people who are having some sort of credibility of investigating and contemplating on that particular problems. And if they're not accepting my method, then I think it is not a justice of my time, energy, and money invested into this. And that's why we have a set method of research, of doing research. I hope I'm making sense here. You can always say that, oh, I can create fire out of nothing, or maybe I can make fuel-less engine which will work for infinite time. I mean, yes, everybody is trying to do this. Everybody is trying to create fire out of nothing. Everybody is trying to make an engine which can run infinitely. But if you will say this, the moment you will say this, there will be some people who will come and ask that how you're saying that you can do that. And the moment you start answering that how, and if that how is not matching to the accepted norms of the society, then people will not accept your idea. Saying this doesn't mean that you cannot create new ideas, but then you have to have the courage of Galileo to be crucified for saying that Earth is not the credo of the universe, neither the sun is, right? So, I mean, when you're creating new knowledge, naturally there will be some sense of resistance from the existing society. But that doesn't mean that you can just superimpose some new methodology and people will buy it. It will not happen, because end of it you have to create evidence, and that even evidence should match the established methods, right? That is the factors. Priya, I'm answering it. I'm answering Jyoti the question, right? Title research paper and type of research. Jyoti, the question is not directly related with both. I will answer again because I really need to give you more evidence about what I'm saying. Then perhaps it will be self-answered in a way, and if not, then I will repeat this question in the end. So, but then nice question. Thank you very much. So, yeah, of course. I mean, it is important, but then it is not a mandate that you put your methodology in the title itself. Not always, right? You can always say it in later. Okay, so coming to this next slide and answering to you guys, and it will actually get answered here only. Like the moment I will put you, so it will be happening. So, all right. So. Bhushan and all those people are talking about ex post facto. I will say that, see, boss, so understand this post post facto and de facto, right? So, which is established as a fact and you are investigating it is called post facto research, and which is not established and you're researching it, it is ex post facto. So it is, for example, there is a rain, there is always a monsoon, there is a season monsoon, and you're investigating it. It is a post facto because it's a truth, and you're investigating how you're trying to find out the pattern, you're trying to find out method. So it is a post facto. So ex post facto is something like which is not evident, which is not observable, which is not in a general conscience is not established as a fact, and you are trying to put it as a fact. So, for example, a lot of people are saying that 5G is technology is the reason of coronavirus investigation. So it is something you're talking about the ex post facto. Will it be established? Will it not be established? Will it, even if it is established, will people believe upon it, or will there always be a debate upon it? Are some of the things which call about ex post facto, right? So which is beyond fact, which not normally be accepted by the general conscience is ex post facto. So you understand this is, and then there are. Yeah, Pawanjit, there will be a feedback form will be sent to you or mail. Thank you very much to remind us. We've created a quiz, not created the feedback form, but then that's a good thing you've suggested. Right, so how to test hypothesis? I will come to that. So, Dr. Ankit Patel, thank you very much for the question. So, we have tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and then day after tomorrow. So, there we'll be testing hypothesis. Hypothesis is basically arithmetic weighing of two variables into an established tools, statistical tools. I mean, give us a time, because like jumping on the questions will actually lose the tempo that we're already engaged with. So that's why I'm not answering. Otherwise, I would love to answer a question. So yeah, so thank you very much. Let's move ahead. Significance of research, as the picture self-evident to all of you. I hope you will agree with it. All right. So most of the researches are stage one. They are germinating the idea. This is 90% of the research. 90. So you go to academia.edu, you go to researchgate.net, you go to Elsewhere, library, Springer, or maybe some other library. There are a lot of libraries. You go and read the research papers of your own colleagues, or any research conferences. The most of the researchers that people come up with are beautiful researchers, but they will lead you to the next process. But not all of them will lead, certainly not all of them will become instant remedy for any problem the mankind is facing, right? So significance is that it is a germination of idea, right? It is establishment of a school, it is way of solving a problem, and it creates value for the mankind. That is the significance. So significance. So why I'm saying that, you know what, like most of the research outcome are below the ground level. It is there, it is important, it is life-saving, unavoidable, but not visible to many. So a lot of people will come and say that, I don't know what you guys are doing because I don't see any value coming out of it. But that's not the case, right? My friend, my brother is a software programmer, and I'm a sort of a teacher and a public speaker. He is genius. He is exceptionally genius, but he is introvert, and he is not able to engage with the people with the kind of flair I am able to. So people know more about me, less about him. And whenever we go and talk together, we often come into this debate that I do a lot of work, but people don't acknowledge me, and you do not do a lot of work, but then people so much acknowledges you, because I am the upper part of the plant. I am the stem and the branch, or maybe a leaf, or the flower, or the fruit of the plant uh, of the tree, and he is the root and the stem of that particular tree. So he is doing more important work. He is helping the entire tree system working, but is not visible, and hence people don't talk about him. But we, being the flower or the fruit or the leaf of the tree, people notices us, people get happy with us, people get romantic with us, people love us, and then we get all the fruit of doing it. So yeah, Professor Brahmbhatt, so true you're saying. So this is what it is. So the benefit of the mankind will ultimately be the visible things. So people like Ford, people like Elon Musk, people like Steve Jobs have created things which is ultimate for the ultimate benefit of mankind, and that's why they are famous. I mean, when I remember the year Steve Jobs died, and the following year Dennis Ritchie, who invented the C language, died. Nobody heeded that the genesis of the world computer has died, and his death went almost unnoticed. And when Steve Jobs died, he became the sensation of the world, because he was giving you the design, the beauty of engaging with the machines. And the other guy who was creating the genesis where these machines are getting the design and the beauty and the ways of engaging with the machine. But when unnoticed. So most of us, and the German, for example, this Bitcoin, we don't know the original name of the guy who has created Bitcoin, but we are so much passionate about his name. And the person in the 1991 who has created the cryptographic methodology of creating a proof of concept so that people cannot copy are not known to the people. So those are the people who have created the cryptographic algorithm on which the Bitcoin is, the infrastructure of Bitcoin and Ethereum and other cryptocurrencies are based, were in 1991 and are not known to the people because they germinated the idea. They established the school of thought, right? But they did not imply it into solving the problem. They only said that these are the ways, these are the kind of problems will be solved by the cryptographic algorithm. But they could not convert it into a visible method of solving the problem. So they did this upper half, the first two seeds. The remaining two seeds been done by the people like Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg, or Larry Page, or right. So these are the people who have done the next part. This one, Satoshi Nakamoto, is a not real name, but the inventor of the Bitcoin. So these guys have created some value out of it, which has created benefit for the mind. And this digital phenomena of currency, of money, of banking is I think we are experiencing, with people born in 21st century, are experiencing exponential transformation of mankind. Exponential transformation. What happened into last 900,000 years of mankind will put together, will surpass of what we're doing in the next decade of the mankind. This 21 to 2030 is going to be phenomenal, and that's why we as a researcher are extremely very important for the mankind to withhold this this tempo, this momentum of traversing this mankind is taking place. 2026 we are landing on Mars. 2030 we are taking the first colony into the Mars. You can't, and then we have a digital currency infrastructure which will be valid in Mars and Moon colonies, which will not be limited to one country or one state. So imagine what are we creating as an infrastructure. This solar system will be ours in just one decade, and we are going to witness it. So it's important to understand what, as a researcher, we are going to achieve. So so this is the significance. So what Google is doing today, what Amazon is doing, what Netflix is doing today, what NASA is doing today, what Tesla is doing, what SpaceX is doing, what RBI is doing, what NSSO is doing, what Election Commission of India is doing, right? What Serum Institute is doing, is the significance of what have been done in these areas from decades of decades. So if you know that we are able to get the coronavirus vaccine in such a lesser time, because we've been investing a lot of money into the R&D of finding medicine for the other SARS variant or virus variant, and that's why we are able to do it. Otherwise, we've been witnessing this havoc on mankind for maybe a couple of years. We are going to be solving it because we've been investing upon it. So those investments before COVID into the SARS R&D was the first two steps of the seed. Now the vaccine we have in the house is the ultimate purpose of the benefit of mankind. So what goes unnoticed doesn't mean is not succeeding the things that is going to be noticeable and future useful. Thank you, Evan, Matthew. Thank you very much. And this love humbles me and humbles my team. And your token of love is the ultimate purpose of we putting so much energy. And I feel very, very happy for your words. Thank you. Yep. So talking about the method versus methodology, again, something which we think that one is the counter of another. I want to tell you that it is not. It is the subset, right? So you can see that there are method 1, method 2, method 3. There are dark color balls, and then there are lighter color balls, and then there's a big circle. So the outer circle is the methodology. Inner circle are the methodologies, and I'm sorry for the wrong spelling mistake. It is the method. So, and then with the same idea and perhaps the same desired outcome, you can have multiple methods and multiple methodologies. But as long as those methods and methodology, what Saransh was asking some time ago, those methods and methodologies, as long as coming inside the ambit of research methodology is accepted. Otherwise, people will not accept it. So, for example, if you have, and it is available free in the internet, if you go to the white paper of Bitcoin cryptocurrency written by Satoshi Nakamoto, it is visible. What are the new areas in English language teaching for research? Dr. Ankit Patel, can you please join our Telegram channel, and I'll answer this question there, because it will not gel up with the kind of subject we're talking. Of course, I want to answer you, but it will be very good for me to answer it there. So part of this question right here. Okay, so coming back, so you go to Bitcoin's white paper, and you will see, explain the point with an example. Yeah, I'm example. I'm doing that example. So I'm taking Bitcoin because it's kind of fab. Everybody's talking about Bitcoin. And if anybody of you have not heard of it, you just can do a small Google, and you will understand. It is a cryptocurrency. It's a huge behemoth crypto digital currency. It will actually destroy the current structure of central and federal banking system, and it will create a whole lot of new dimensions. I mean, when I'm saying that cryptocurrencies will help us manage the economy between Earth and Mars and Moon, so imagine what I'm talking about, right? So this is a really beautiful thing coming up. So I'm taking, and the guy who's created Bitcoin is not known to many of the people. People are trying hard to find out. So anyway, so I'm coming back to it. So when you go to read that white paper, the methodology used, the research methodology used in writing the white paper of Bitcoin cryptocurrency is using the research methodology, well-established research methodology. So understand what I'm trying to say. So as long as your idea is channelized through the methods coming in the ambit of research methodology, will be investigated and considered by your fellow researchers, and will be accepted into the fraternity of researchers. Otherwise, it will be discarded and destroyed. What exactly is happening with Baba Ramdev's coronil and lot of others claim about alums and other kitchen level medications is happening the same thing, because these kind of claims does not fit into the ambit of research methodology. All right, so Praveen, Ganga said, no problem. We'll do a quick recap, and you can anyway join us tomorrow from the beginning. Right, so but then you missed it. So I will not say that you did not miss. Right, so it must be scientific. So research methodology is what? Has to be scientific, has to be logical, and accepted by the fellow researchers. Three things I said: scientific, logical, and accepted by the fellow researchers. There are a lot of people claim about ghosts, about supernatural powers, paranormal activities, but none of these theories fit into these three preconditions of research. And that's why we do not give them the credit they are craving for. Right? So, thank you, Abdullah. So, so if we're not giving credit to it, doesn't mean mankind should discard it. The concept of God does not fit into the scientific, logical, and accepted methodology of research. That doesn't mean we can discard the concept of God. Even if we'll try hard, we cannot, because hope about the future is the ultimate essence of we as a mankind existing and traversing. So anything which puts into the ambit of hope should be admired and accepted and cherished in the mankind, but it cannot be into the ambit of research methodology. So, right, so there's a difference between method and methodology. We said as long as your method comes into the ambit of research methodology, it is accepted by the researchers, it is scientific, and it is logical, right, sir? So that's how we should look at it. So, importance of doing how to do research. So, a lot of questions from Jyoti and Priya and Bhushan, and a lot of you guys have asked this question, and I want to, Uncle, good evening. It's late you came, so I think a lot of things will be answered here. Yeah. So, importance of knowing how to do a research is, the thing which I repeatedly say to all of you is acceptance. Acceptance, acceptance, acceptance. Try and understand. I can say that I can fly and land on moon without any machine, just by doing some yoga. It will never be accepted. Okay, so Pooja, I will go back to give you the example. I think so there are a lot of example of methods. So method is like, for example, you are saying, I'm going to use the sample of rainwater to see whether rain droplets coming from cloud are infected by the virus of the bacteria in the air. For example, I'm just giving a wild thing. I'm not even qualified to even talk about these things because I'm not graduated. I have not done anything in the past. But because this is easy to visualize and it is easy to for us to imagine and picturize in the brain. That's why I'm taking this example. So yeah. So for example, I want to figure out that the rainwater before touching the ground, the droplets coming straight away from the cloud, does those rainwaters harmful for the human skin, may contain virus, may contain chemical in the air, or may contain bacterial colonies already spread in the air, or maybe more precisely for you to understand, like, if I go in the rainwater in the rainy season, will I get infected from the corona easily? So because for all sort of reasons. So if I want to investigate this idea, so the method, I can say that, okay, I will take the sample of water, right, and test it in the lab. Or another method can be that I will take few animals and birds and put them into rain, and then bring them into the lab and test whether their skin or health have deteriorated or not. That can be, that there are the two methods. The third method can be, I take some testing chemicals and straight away throw it in the rain season, and as the moment they get in contact with the droplets, the color changes or something happens, which can be the evidence of the fact that the water droplets are in some sort of contamination. So that's a three method. So all these three methods are scientific. All these three methods are logical, and all these three methods, I think, will be accepted by the fellow researchers. Right? So there are three methods, and because these are three methods coming into the ambit of three factors, that is scientific, logical, and accepted by the fellow researchers, it becomes the research methodology. So, for example, the first example that I've taken, that I will catch some droplets from the rain and put it in the lab and test it, it may have a problem that my utensil is contaminated, not the rainwater which is contaminated. So that will be a debate our fellow researchers will have. Right. So, and in the next method, that the animals I have taken for the lab testing are already having some sort of allergy to rainwater, and we are calculating it. So that is again there is a error, the factor of error. And in the third method, that I see that the test indication is happening not because of the germs or the infestations, but because of other things already there in the air. So all the three methods have some errors. Am I able to counter support my research method with those errors or not? That is a further situation. So there are multiple methods, and all these methods are coming into the ambit of research methodology, and that's why it is called accepted research methodology. So hope, Pooja, I have answered this question. If not, you can comment again. I will try to attempt it once again. Okay, so yep, so importance of doing research, my dear friend, is this in front of you. First is acceptance. Acceptance is very important for all of us, because otherwise it becomes hard, money gone, energy gone, and time gone, and then you're running around. Maybe you're long gone from the world, and then somebody comes, oh, that was a great idea, but then what fun it will have. So that's why I'm saying acceptance. Acceptance is not an ultimate thing. You can, right? You can be municipal and you can give the good things to the world, and you're gone, and people are thanking you later. So that kind of situation. Yep. So thank you, Pawanjit, for saying thank you and welcome. Next is strategy. If you have, for example, if you have a chessboard, and the objective of chessboard is to siege the king, and all the rook and bishop and pawns and knights and queen can play the way they want to, then it is not a chess. Then it is a mess. I mean, it is not even fun playing it, right? So the fun of the game is that it has 64 quarters of black and white quarters in a systematic arrangements, and you have pieces, and all these pieces will combat with their capacity and abilities, and in the process, in the methods, the way they combat with the opponent, will be able to siege the king, and if you siege the king, you win, right? So there is a law of the game, there is a rule of the game, and there is a well accepted logical rule of the game. And if you're not able to siege the king in that within that rule of the game, you're not playing chess. You're playing anything but not the chess. So yeah, so maybe you're doing politics, maybe you're doing something else, but not playing the chess. So in the beauty of research is that it has already laid down the method, the canvas of 64 boxes in alternate color, black and white, with the pieces having different power and promise, and objectives and ability to combat, and equal playing field for you and your opponent, and then you're engaging in your attempt to seize the opponent's king. That is the methodology. Within that methodology, the way you play your game is the method, right? So you can have your rook dominant game, you can have your bishop dominant game, you can have your knight dominant game, or the pawn dominant game, or you can have a defense as an attack, you can have attack as a defense, you can have a lot of methods to play that particular game. But all of it, which method you will adopt when, and in who is your opponent, and what kind of game you're playing, what is the stake you have put into that game, all of this will help you devise a strategy. So you have a rule of the game, you have a resources of the game, you have an opponent here in the game, you have your resources freezed into that game. But do you want to win? Most of the times we don't even want to win the game, we just want to please the person playing in front of you. I do most of the times. I play chess just to let my opponent feel that he is clever and he is intelligent. This way they engage with me, they live with me, and they make peace with me, and we go on doing the things which is more important. So that's my strategy. I want you to know that you're intelligent than me, you're talented than me, so that you value me, your time with me, and we engage into something which is, so that's my strategy. So losing the game is also a part of the strategy. So like somebody said in the before, that failure is also a part of research. Right, friends? So the next is this research methodology gives you strategy, devise your strategy. The best you know how to play chess, the better strategy you will have, right? Third is your objectivity, because like as I said, that research is an uncharted path. When you're so for example, you are walking in a rainy jungle wherein no track of any pagdandi, any path, chances are very higher that you will go lost into the jungle, because there is no ready path for you to follow. But if you will have research methodology with you, you will have your objectives defined. So you'll not be lost. Your resources will not be wasted. Your time will not be gone. Your energy will not be drained. Right? So, Pooja, I will not answer that question. So it is dangerous because my family is also watching. So yeah, so so if you have an objectivity, you, even if you will lost for a while, you will come back. So that's how, like, anybody. So for example, we have a plan of 4 days, we have a plan of 2 hours lectures, we have plan of quiz, we have all sort of things. So even if I will start making talking lightly with you people, if I will start taking dig on some situations, some politicians or something, I will come back because I have a plan. I have a presentations to complete. I have a subject to complete, and I have to satisfy the audience and the listeners. So I have an objective. So as long as there is an objective, even if I'll be lost, I know where I have to head back, right? So, and the fourth is the utility. Ultimately, the mind, money, energy, resources, and time that you have invested should yield some value, either to you or to the society or to the mankind or the people coming in the future, right? The way Newton's thought given us, the way other things have come to us. So if you're not knowing research methods and research, the way to do research, you are actually playing in an empty canvas without any imagination. What are you going to draw, right? So even if I'm talking about the canvas, there is a canvas and there is a palette color and there is a brush, and you know how to engage with the canvas. But if you're just drawing colors into the space, I mean, only God knows that what you're creating, right? So this is how I want you to understand it. This is very important for you. Like all this while I've been discussing with you, to ask your attention here, right? And if you want to take the screenshot, take the screenshot. If you of course I'm going to give you this PPT if you join the Telegram channel which we have announced, so there you can get it. But even if you're not, you can take the screenshot right away, right? This is how you define the research problem, and this is how you submit your report. And in the process, there are ways you are coming back on and off and going forward and doing a lot of things. And you need to understand this, right? So you have to, first step is that define. So you have, like as I said, that there are 100 doors in front of you, and so there was thousands of ideas created, 100 doors in front of you. Out of 100 doors, you have decided 10 doors you want to knock. Out of 10 doors, 5 doors opened, and out of the 5 doors, you're saying that only one door I am deciding to go in, because at any point of time you can only enter one door. So deciding which one door you're finally entering is the definition of the research process. You define it. So once you define it, you have to do two things. You have to review the concept and the theories, that is called literature review. And you are also doing the study, the finding the previous findings, previous researches happened over there. Now, why I want you to do this? Okay. I hope I'm live and it's moving. I'll assume we are headway, because my feed is saying that we're lost. I'm live now. Okay. Okay, but I think okay. Nonetheless, if it is off, then put my slide on the front slide. I'm okay. I'll go ahead. Sorry for the inconvenience. I will just find out what technology went wrong, because we all are experimenting with the technology. None of us are good with the technology. And thank you, Avesh, for helping me. Thank you, my team, to help me out. So defining the research process and in the concept, reviewing the concept and theories, and understanding who have done what in the before you. And here I want to hang out with the note. What I want to tell you that most of the researchers, they think that the idea they are coming up with is absolutely new, and there is nothing has happened so far into it. I want to quote you this example. Uh, this Bitcoin, you will agree that Bitcoin is a phenomenal new concept of digital currency. But if you go to the white paper of Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency by Satoshi Nakamoto, here we will share, Dr. Abdullah, we will share the PPTs. You have to join our Telegram channel, and we will send you by email also. No problem, right? So it is all yours. So yeah, so the moment you will download this white paper, you will understand the fact that the cryptocurrency inventor Satoshi Nakamoto has given 6 references to back up what idea he's talking about. Why I'm saying is because even if the idea as new as the cryptocurrency or the Bitcoin is supported by at least 6 researchers happened in the past. So no, it is almost, so we are close to 7 billion human on earth. We're soon going to be 8 billion human on earth alive. And before us, there are close to 20-25 billion humans have born and died. And after us, there are infinite amount of human will born and die. How in the imagination it is possible for anybody of us to have entirely new concept? It is impossible. Yep. So why I'm saying this? Because as the writer Interpretation of Dreams, Sigmund Freud, says that we do not dream something which we have not experienced in our waking life. So we cut and scramble all the experiences of our waking life, and that scramble experiences come in our dreams, right? In fact, Nikola Tesla says that sleeping is more important than our waking life, because we are able to train and channelize our ideas better when we are sleeping, because at the time of sleeping our body is able to devote more energy to brain as compared to when we are waking up, right? So that is Nikola Tesla's ways, and that is phenomenal. I've been tired decades of asking people that why we sleep. I think Nikola Tesla have beautifully answered that why we sleep, because human body has a finite capacity, human brain has an infinite capacity. So brain asks body to switch off for a while so that we can train our ideas and our thoughts better. So what I'm saying this is that our brain, yes, our brain has infinite power, but it is all defined by the experiences we take in our waking life. And that's why I say that anybody who is into research fraternity has to engage with an experience. A lot of the ambit of experience has to be extremely bigger so that you can accommodate. Good news for the sleep lovers, yeah. So yeah, so you have to accommodate this idea. So I'm saying that you cannot just switch on and you will get the newer ideas. Perhaps tomorrow when we will be having our civilization in Moon and Mars, perhaps we will be having some newer ideas. But our perseverance is our fly on Mars. That itself says that we have experienced sufficient about the planet we are about to in the coming years future. And based on what have been done by the past researchers, we formulate our hypothesis. So the question that you have asked, I think Jyoti asked a while ago, that how to formulate hypothesis. Here is the term hypothesis come. That there are in the same ambit of problem, in the same ambit of methodology, a lot of people have already answered a lot of questions. Is there some unanswered questions you have found in your literature review to which you have said is a research gap? And based on that research gap, are you going to have some new set of variables to arithmetically or logically examine? Will be your hypothesis that you are going to formulate. So that's one thing. Next is that designing the research. So once you're getting that hypothesis, right? Hypothesis is basically your presumptions of those answers of the questions you have already posed in your research. So if you pose a research question, you are assuming an answer, that is the best way, because then you are going to investigate whether the hypothesis is the real answer or not, right? And that way it will be scientifically tested that, okay, this is the real answer, right? And then you design your research, you include your sample, you include the sampling design. We are going to talk about it on third day, tomorrow. And then you're going to go ahead and start analyzing it, doing the testing whether the analysis goes right. If not, then you're coming back again, doing the modifications into the data and the sampling methodology and the design. Again, engage and test it. Again, you validate it. And if it is not validated, you're coming back. That feed forward and feedback with coming forth and forward. And you engage in the whole process, going head back again. And once you're satisfied that all the data that you've collected is um, um, giving the desired research result, and that result is satisfying and supported by your supervisor and your colleague who are doing the same kind of research, in fact your partners into that research, when all of you feeling satisfied, then you do the interpretation and report writing. So this entire process is research methodology. This entire process is accepted, is scientific, and is logical, right? So that is how you should do it. Blue Dragon, what is that you're trying to write? Right in sin. Okay, so I think your mobile has fallen. Criteria of good research, friends. So I want you to understand this is important, right? So criteria of good research is that it is replicable. Niche se, from the bottom you see, right? It has to be empirical, right? It is solving the real world problem, and it's not a mandate criteria, but then it will give you immediate boost, right? Immediate evidence of the success of your research, right? That the premise of your research is logical, and it is well defined, and very important, it has to be systematic. It has to be well defined. If it is not defined, you will start from point A to go to point Z, but you will end up going to point beta and theta and whatnot, or maybe you will not reach anywhere ever, and you will drop it in the middle. So that's why it is important. So fourth thing: systematic, rational, empirical, and replicable. This should be your criteria when you're engaging with the research, right? So thank you, Gyan Shankar. Thank you. Okay, friends. So I think we have done a lot of purposeful discussion today. I have established the stage of what we are going to do today. Again, I'm going to talk about a little about my organization. As I said, we are the Catalysis. What Catalysis does, Catalysis accelerates your process. So Persig Research accelerates your research. If you're stuck, if you're stopped, if you're not motivated, if you're confused, you should talk to us. These are our contact numbers. These are your email IDs and websites. We can help you in editing. We can help you in proofreading. We can help you in data analysis. We can give you expert consulting. So these are the things that we can do with you, friends. Again, I want to request you that we are going to give you a quiz. Avish, can you give me the link somewhere, or maybe you can show it in the screen if you can, or maybe we can send it. Right. So it is important. Tomorrow's link will be available only when you qualify the quiz today. All right, friends. So the rights are reserved, but you can use these websites, these like. हाँ ठीक है, आप टेलीग्राम में पिन कर दीजिए. मैं टेलीग्राम को वर्बली बोल देता हूँ. कई बार लिंक्स जो हैं आपको हाइपरलिंक नहीं देती हैं. मैं वर्बली बोल रहा हूँ. इट इज t.me/dataxyz, DATAXYZ, DATAXYZ, t.me/dataxyz. You join this Telegram link, and we will be sending you all the details there, and the quizzes also. All right. I hope it was enriching to you, it was helpful for you, friends. And thank you very much for listening. Some of things where maybe you can always give us a feedback. Tomorrow when you will start, we will give you a feedback form for you to fill up and encourage us. And your encouragement is energy to us. And thank you, Abdullah, Pooja, Anit, Anitaba, Blue Dragon, Ibn, for your nice words, and all of you friends. Thank you, been watching passionately and listening. I hope we have created some value, and with your synergies, energy, we'll head back tomorrow again 5 o'clock. Please answer the questions in the quiz. So, Avish, we're good to go. If you want to disconnect. So, thank you. I will disconnect from my side.